Well, good morning, everybody. I'm pretty sure you can all guess what this means when the old Kearney and Trekker 3CH is unceremoniously loaded like that. She's headed to the scrapyard. Had somebody from Muskegon come down and got the vertical head off from it, and nobody else seems to be wanting parts and pieces, or if they want them, they don't want them bad enough to come get them, and I haven't got time to extract parts. So at any rate, she's going to the scrap bin. It's bittersweet because the thing that has finally motivated this to happen is Wiggles and I went and bought a cool new toy this weekend, and we need to clear out a chunk of this carport for it to sit in. So you guys will get to see more of that when we get to it, but it's very, very cool. So anyway, I'll show you guys this. This is pretty friggin' awesome. This is this morning. Plowed a deer on the way in, caved the bumper in the middle, shoved the fender back. I've yanked the bumper back out, yanked the fender out because I couldn't even get the door open, but yep, already had one of them rotten buggers. I mean, I didn't have beauty of a truck, but they didn't need that. So anyway, though, we're about ready to get on with it and get this strapped down, and we'll show you guys probably not a lot of this cleanup, but the goal is get one whole bay cleared out in that today, because tonight we're bringing home the new one. So we'll catch you later.
So, we just got this old fire truck.
What is it, Wiggles?
Ford, and
1937.
yep, hauling her up the Dodge.
Got all kinds of parts in here. We've been digging this stuff out of barns and sheds, and now we're finally headed home with it. Late night.
Guido's golden sriracha. Spicy.
Yeah. How many tons is this truck?
What?
How many tons is this truck?
1.5 ton truck.
Yeah.
Well, good morning, everybody. So, other than our brief video that Wiggles shot last night, we hadn't had a chance to shoot any. We were loading this in the dark. There was just no way we could video any of that. But so this is the new project we just picked up. This is what brought about the final and official demise of the Kearney and Trekker. This has got to go over there. We still got to finish clearing out, but it's got to go in the carport. But we have got all kinds of cool stuff happening here. You see we got parts and pieces, but the original engine for this particular truck was busted up really bad. It was a 21 stud flathead V8 and just destroyed. I don't feel like I'm real surprised at that. Everything I've read says they're extremely prone to that to start with. And I would imagine fire truck service, where you jump in and hot rod on it and roll without letting her warm up at all, is probably not very good for motors that like to crack to start with. So at any rate, this is the engine we're going to put into it. It came with it, but this is a final series Ford flathead V8. You can see side distributor. I think that means this is 49 or newer. Feel free to correct me on that if I'm wrong, but that was my understanding when that started. And I realize it's not period correct for 1937 Ford, but it's a heck of a lot more reliable and a little more horsepower, and still has the proper flathead V8 sound. So at any rate, that is the plan, is to freshen that motor up. I haven't really decided what I'm going to do with it. I'm leaning towards trying to run it sitting on the ground and just see what it sounds like. Probably, I mean, it did come with a spare radiator, so what I may very well do is rig that radiator up on a stand and just set this thing up and let her run, just to see if it shows any signs of any leaks or cracks or burnt valves or stuff like that. If it runs even halfway decent, we're just going to put it in the truck and run her for now, because the plan is not a restoration. It's just simply to get this old girl put back together functional. Got a few questions about it. Obviously it was fire truck. I'm hoping I can get a hold of Historical Society down there in Silver Lake. I'd like to see if anybody's got any pictures. I'm quite curious what this hole was about. The guy I got it from suggested that he thought that might have had some kind of a pipe or something that came up through there, but baffles me a little because the door, I guess it doesn't come that far. Anyway, seat's just sitting in here right now. But what a rock solid old truck. It is just unbelievable how nice this thing is. Oh, what's this? I gotta look at this. You got tags on the door from oil change 611 of 62. Isoviz motor oil. That is 52. Chassis was greased. I gotta read through here. Motor oil, it doesn't really say much. Next service due oil change and lube. Yes, 611 to 62. I would believe that this thing could have very well still been in fire service in 62. Fire departments and municipalities weren't nearly as keen on wasting money back then as they are now, and if they had something that worked, they didn't rush out and buy a brand new one just for the fun of it. So anyway, oh, this is pretty funny. So it has what I don't know. Once again, I'm no expert on these. I'm assuming an aftermarket heater in there, and I don't quite know what the point. There must be a hole or something. Anyway, there's a 1941 license plate being used to block it off. I'll show you guys this. So this, I'm assuming, is not, I mean, it says it's an Arvin, and unless Ford bought Arvin heaters, my assumption is that it's not an original. So I don't know if the originals didn't work that good or what the deal was, but that's the battery box I'm looking at the back side of. Interesting. But yeah, so there you have it. We're gonna get this old girl unloaded, unload all the treasure collection out of the back here and get it stuffed away in the shed, and then hopefully sometime before spring get this thing to some semblance of runnable and functional and off and cruising. But anyway, well, I'll bring you guys back later when we get on with the process. All right, let's unload her. I think what we want to do is get the truck and trailer out of the way and push it up and get a little air in these tires. Well, good morning, everybody. It was after dark by the time Wiggles and I got done pushing and shoving here last night, but as you can see, the old 37 Ford found herself a spot in the shed. Now, you also can see, here's one of the boogers about this darn shed, and that is that it sweats and drips, and so we're going to still have to cover everything up under here just to protect it from getting injured by being under here. This just kind of protects it from the worst of it. But what I think I'm going to do is move that radiator down, and I'm going to get a long board all the way across the top so we can drape a tarp across it. Yeah, look at that, dripping water trying to go in the plug holes. But anyway, good news is she's pretty much undercover, and now we can carry on with our adventure here. So we'll, I'm sure, be showing video of this process of getting the old girl up and rolling, but been interesting adventure already, just collecting it and figuring out what we're going to do with it. But anyhow, I think that'll be the end of her for now. We'll bring you guys back when there's more to show on that project. But in the meantime, I got a huge pile of work I got to do in the shop, so we'll be in there for a while working now.